I'm telling you, bro, if you want any level, and when I say success, if you want any level of growth in your life, if you want any level of evolution, the first thing you do, the most important step, brothers, is there are no miracles, only higher levels of understanding. A man must know two things. He must know who he is, and he must know where he's going. I'm gonna tell you something, brothers. And this is one of the non-negotiable, right? If you want any level of peace in your life, I'm talking about real peace. If you're wanting any level of success in your life, whatever that means for you, right? Brothers, you have to stop accepting the mindsets, right, of the collective consciousness. And when I say collective consciousness, I'm strictly talking about the masses. You know, I like the way Jim Rome said it, man. Jim Rome said, walk away from the 97%. He said, if you think like the masses, you will have no choice but to receive what the masses receive, brothers. So I'm telling you, man, one of the most important moves you can make is disassociating yourself from the mindset of the collective, right? And the thing is, I talk to a lot of brothers, and they'll say, man, like I understand what you're talking about, man. Like I'm doing X, Y, Z. I'm going through all these steps. I'm a lot of brothers will say, you know what? I'm reading all these books. We talk about a lot of books, man. Brothers will say, I'm reading Outwitting the Devil. I'm reading Napoleon Hill's work. I'm reading Neville Goddard's work. I'm listening to seminars from Bobby Hemmett and other, philosophers. I'm reading the Master Key System. But I'm telling you, brother, you reading this content, you're gonna see a little light, man, but you aren't gonna be able to accept it, man, unless you've released that old. A lot of what you're reading, man, you're gonna be reading from the mindset of the common man, and it's not gonna make a lot of sense to you, brothers. So I'm saying, man, you have to unplug from the way the masses are thinking. You can go to a lot of spiritual places. For me, minus meditation and kind of just sitting in my own, home. I love getting out in nature, man. I love going to places to hike. I love getting around the trees and the mountains, and sometimes it's good to go somewhere different, man. There's a lot of good hiking in Arizona, man. But sometimes it's good to just go right down here in South Dallas, hit the Cedar Hill Reserve, bro. Get amongst the squirrels and the birds and the butterflies and the bees, bro, and just connect with source. But I'm telling you, bro, you can go hike 900 miles. You can hike every reserve, you can go hike Mount Kilimanjaro or whatever they call it, right? If you haven't released that old mindset, man, you really won't be able to connect to source like you've planned on it. I know a lot of us have different, practices, and a lot of us do different, we have different chants and do all different things, man, to get us connected to the all. Again, brothers, I'm telling you, you can chant till the cows come home. You can stand in your synagogues and recite what you want. You can quote certain, verses out of the Bible, verses out of the Holy Quran. If you haven't released the old mindset, it's all for naught, brothers. It's all for naught. What do I mean releasing the mindset of the collective consciousness, right? For one, and just a general term, man, that's believed amongst the masses is that it's difficult, or it's a challenge to find real peace in life. And I'm talking about just a man waking up being at peace. I'm not talking about making $1 million. I'm not talking about having a plethora of women to choose from. I'm not talking about living in a whatever. I'm talking about a man just waking up and having peace. The common man has no idea how close he is to it. But the thing is, he's bought into the mindset of the masses that's made him think he has to go and do X, Y, and Z to accomplish a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? Finding peace and finding that level of success where you can wake up and live life on your own terms, brothers, is a lot easier than you think. Most people get up and go to jobs they cannot stand. Most people cower themselves to bosses and managers that talk down on them that they can't stand. Most people go and work in plants, sit in cubicles, interact with people that don't vibrate like them, and think that there's no other way to get out of it, man. That's the mindset of the collective consciousness. That's groupthink. And I'm not saying that it's something that is bad to have a job. Y'all know I don't speak that. But if you're getting up and your life is miserable every day, brothers, you simply bought into some BS. You're simply agreeing to something that's not true, right? You know, we talk about this whole and you can get on the tube, you can get on the gram, and you can see people talking about, you know, when I say groupthink, I'm talking about people that are saying things like all women are a certain way, or all men are dogs, or relationships are no good. The relationships are done. You know, I'm not saying be naive to be able to look around yourself and see women moving in a certain way, to see men moving in a certain way. But you have to understand, man, that a lot of that is propaganda. You have to understand that a lot of platforms are allowing that type of information to spread hard and go viral to create a narrative. You know what I'm saying? I always say, man, that when it comes to people in relationships, men or women, like what you're attracting is what you are. Regardless of what the whole world is doing. Yeah, all the women can be thotty, all the men can be dogs. But the way you're moving is what you're going to bring into your life, man. You have to stop buying into collective consciousness. Just because a video has 1 point something million views doesn't make it truth. At least it doesn't make it your truth. It doesn't have to be your truth, brothers. Collective consciousness, man, that all black people act the same. You know, a lot of our people act a certain way because they think they're supposed to act a certain way. If you watch, if every music video you watch, people are conducting themselves a certain way. If you're looking at TikTok, if you're looking at IG and YouTube and all the other platforms, and the way black people are moving is what's getting the views, you're gonna buy into that. And I went to a concert, not a concert. I went to a comedy show New Year's Eve, man, and it's just a beautiful thing, brothers. When I can see a lot of people that look like me come to a huge event, you know, dressed nice, smelling good, everybody dappered up, man, good music, good laughs, having a good time, conducting themselves in a certain way. I love seeing that, brothers. I love seeing that because the narrative is that we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? The narrative is that we can't do that. And I'm telling you, the reason why most people don't move like that is because they bought into the collective consciousness that black people don't act like that, man. I'm telling you, bro, if you want any level, and when I say success, if you want any level of growth in your life, if you want any level of evolution, the first thing you do, the most important step, brothers, is separating yourself from your old, man. And that's unplugging from collective consciousness thinking, man. So how do you stop accepting it, brothers? I'll say this. The first thing is you have to straight call it what it is. You have to call it what it is. You have to say, you know what? The reason I bought into this is because of, you know, I don't know if it was a seed planted in my youth, but you have to first say this. You have to first say, you know what? I understand that this way of thinking is, one, a lack of abundant thinking, a lack of love thinking. It's thinking out of fear. It's thinking out of lack. You have to call the thing what it is first, brother. Call it what it is. And if it came from something you saw growing up, call that what it is. Say, you know what, man, the reason I fear people, the reason I move a certain way, the reason I think in lack is because maybe my aunt, my grandmother, my next door neighbor, they put this seed in me, man. They planted this seed in my mind. It became my truth. But you have to call it what it is. You know, it's kind of like going to an AA meeting. The first thing they say is, you know what, my name is this, and I move like this. I drink, I smoke, I inject, whatever. Call it what it is, bro. You can't get past it unless you call it what it is, man. But the most important step is the next one, bro. You have to form your new truth. And I say this is the most important step, but brothers, this is the most fun step. This is the most entertaining step, man. To form your new truth. And to form your new truth, man, you first have to understand, man, you first have to have an understanding of who and what you are. You first have to have an understanding, man, of what life is. You first have to have an understanding that you can create and move in the energy of whatever you want to move in, bro. Like that right there is when a man starts to live. When a man says, you know what, I'm in this liquid universe, I'm in this limitless universe. Let me create whatever it is I want to create, bro. That's when you start living. And the thing is, a lot of people will do that, but they're still doing it from the mindset of the collective conscience. That's why I'm saying you have to release that first, man. Even the messenger said, you know what? A man can't put new wine in old wine skins. He said the thing will bust, man. So that's what I'm saying, brother. Unless you unplug, brother, you creating your future going forward, it'll be null and void, man. It'll be worthless. But creating that new truth, bro, that's when it just takes a man, sitting still. We can call it going into the silence. You can call it 1,000,001 things, but it takes a man sitting by himself, and using his imagination. Like the word says, become ye as the little children, man. Get back to that mindset where you have no limitations. Whatever you want life to look like, it can look like that. If you want to be able to wake up and scratch your gonads all day and read the paper and twiddle your thumbs, brother, you can move like that. If you want a certain person in your life, brother, regardless of the world is saying, you know what, all women are like this, all men are like this. If you want a certain person, brother, all you have to do is be able to think that thing, bro. All you have to do is be able to think that thing, man. If you want a new career, if you want a new whatever, bro. But the thing is, forming your new truth is the most entertaining part. So form your new truth. Observe the places in this world that you want to go. Observe the people that you want to be associated with. Observe the rooms you want to be able to walk in, brother. And think those things and hold those thoughts, man. You know what I'm saying? And the final step, brother, is just to step into it. We can say walk in your I am. We can call it 1,000,001 things, bro. But you have to really step into it. And the thing is this. It's not just a matter of stepping into it and being it and all this stuff. You have to understand to really fully step into a thing, it's a must you release all of the old. Not only release all of the old, bro, it's a must that you understand that anything outside of that thought, anything outside of your new I am can't be allowed in. It can't be allowed in. In other words, if you're sitting here saying, you know what, my new energy is an abundant energy. Like there is no lack. Like I don't care what my neighbors are saying. I don't care what, the news is saying. There is no lack in my life. That means that anybody coming to your circle ready to talk about how the stock is plummeting and how the economy and food shortages and all, you can't entertain any of it, brother. You can't entertain any of it. When you're sitting there trying to get a new career, you're sitting there, you're trying to go down a new path, for whether employment or income. You can't let people sit there and tell you, oh, well, you don't have a degree in this, or you didn't go to this college, or you aren't from this side of the tracks, or your skin looks this color. No black people do this. No white, no Asian people do this. Brother, I'm telling you, you have to be able to block out anybody that's thinking any other way, man. You have to be willing to live life on an island and stay there the remainder of your days if it comes down to that, bro. I'm telling you this, bro. Again, if you want any level of peace in this world, man, you can't move like the masses. You can't move like the masses, man. and I don't care what your practices are. I don't want to sit here and of course I'm not going to bash religion. Religion is a beautiful thing. But if you're looking for spiritual enlightenment, let me say this. If you're looking for spiritual enlightenment and that level of peace that I'm talking about, you have to understand this. Your religion, your organized religion can be a beautiful thing. It can be a tool on your path toward your journey. But you have to understand that your religion is not going to be the be all. If your spiritual growth isn't outside the pages of the Bible, the Quran, and all the other books, I'm going to tell you this, brother, you're going to hit a cap, because you have to understand this is part of mass thinking. If you think your security is in some government, right? If you think your security is in the people that are pretty much in charge of again governing this nation, bro, and you can't think outside of that and tap back into self, it's kind of like what Neville said. Neville said in a 1956 interview. He said there's going to come a time. He said there's going to come a time, man, where mankind won't be able to lean on certain organizations and fraternities and all this stuff. He said there's going to be a point in time where man can't lean on his government. He said his government will be so corrupt that you won't know the difference. Like there is no difference between Republican, Democrat, and all this stuff. He said the only way a man will be able to find this peace, what I'm talking about, find this enlightenment, is to go within, man. It's to go within, brother. And I'm telling you, man, like that's where all your answers are. That's where this happiness you're seeking, whether you're seeking this happiness in things and women and vices or whatever, this happiness you're seeking, brother, it's inside, man. It's inside, brothers. So again, if you want any level of success, brothers, you have to unplug from collective consciousness.
One of the things, like I said before, man, is realize that you have this moment. This moment's never gonna come again. And you have to really check in. You have to know what your principles are. You have to check in with yourself and am I being fake with myself or being real with myself? You're the only one that can answer that question. Nobody else can answer that question for you. You probably can put on an act, maybe. A lot of times, and people know if you're not speaking from the heart or come from the heart, man. You gotta check in with yourself and see where you are. And know yourself enough to know, is this going against what I really believe? Everybody else is going over here. I really want to go over here. I don't feel like going to that picnic. I don't feel like going to that event. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going just because everybody else. You have to live by your standards and check in with yourself.